I'm the Beretta guy. Okay guys, it's the Beretta guy down here in the basement, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do a cold blue finish restoration on this pretty Marlin Model 20. You don't see the Model 20s a whole lot. This is a 1971, which makes it a brother to my 1972 Marlin Model 60. I picked this up at Hyatt Gun Shop, and it's in amazingly beautiful shape. Look at that stock, it's gorgeous. However, I noticed that the bluing is all worn off the barrel. Now, I could say that's just nice patina and leave it at that, but since this gun isn't really worth anything except for I just like Marlin 22s, and I've always wanted the bolt action. You see the nice bolt there. Give you some good looks at everything here. That this would be a good chance to try out a little restoration project. Worst thing that could possibly happen in this case is that I take all the bluing off and start over until I get it right. So to do this today, we're going to be using Birchwood Casey's Perma Blue Kit, and I've seen some pretty positive results. I picked this up at my gun shop when I picked up the rifle. Seen some pretty positive results. It comes with the blue and rust remover, the Perma Blue itself, and the cleaner degreaser, and it's really not all that difficult to do. Prep work is the key. So if you get this thing just like painting a wall or a portrait or anything else, as long as you've got everything prepped correctly, your project will come out good. And when it comes to bluing stuff like rifle barrels and parts, there's no substitute for good prep work. So what I got to do first is I got to remove the barrel and the scope and the bolt, remove it all from the stock, and then we're going to take it out in the garage and use the cleaner degreaser and the blue and rust remover, because I guess that stuff really stinks and I don't want to do it down here in the basement. So let's begin by disassembling the rifle, which is not all that hard. So the first part to disassembling this rifle is let's remove the bolt. I've already checked it for safe, and the action's open. There's nothing in the chamber. There's no magazine in it, so I'm completely safe there. So to pull a bolt out of a Marlin Model 20, all you do is pull it back and pull the trigger, and then slide it right out. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Alrighty. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the scope. Which is a piece of cake. This is 2 screws. And that's all there is to that. Next would be to remove the barrel from the stock, and to do that, if I'm not mistaken, the only thing that holds the barrel into the stock is this screw right here. So I'm going to switch over to an even bigger tip. See how this one fits. Beautiful. And I'm going to remove this screw. I'm pretty stoked. This is It's my first attempt at this. We'll take out the little screw, just pull out the whole mag carrier assembly. I'm pretty sure it comes out too. I'm pretty sure it just pulls out. We're going to find out. It's my first time ever disassembling one of these. But hey, let's dig right in, huh? That is that. And while I'm here, I can take a look and see what's going on with there seems to be a little issue with the magazine retention system. It likes to fall out. Alright, there we go. We just pulled the barrel right out. That leaves the stock. Everything looks good. There's no major rust or anything anywhere. It's just absent of blue. This should be a pretty good project. It shouldn't be too hard to clean all this up. Okay, so the first step into the process is to degrease it. Degreasing is very important. You need to get every ounce of grease and oil off the gun, and as you know, guns are pretty greasy and oily. So we're using the Birchwood KC cleaner degreaser, following the instructions to a T. Now, make sure you wear gloves on this. Now, since we're removing all the oil from this gun, and I'm sorry if I go off camera, I'm not looking at where the camera's pointing. I will keep you informed of all the steps as we go. Hopefully you're getting some imagery here. It's very important to get every ounce off. And like the instructions say, when you think you've got it good, do it 2 more times. So what we're going to do is we're going to degrease this baby, and I'm going to wear gloves through this whole ordeal. I also did not disassemble the barrel, as you can see. I really don't want to mess with all the little parts, and the bluing is only going to stick to the metal that I'm dealing with, so I'm not too worried about like the trigger and stuff. I'm not going to blue it. So I'm going to rinse it off in some water here. And just as a little trick to the trade, I'm also, not only am I going to use this degreaser and get it nice and cleaned off here, but I'm going to give it a rub down with some 91% alcohol, rubbing alcohol. That should satisfy everything it needs to satisfy to get this thing cleaned up. So you just take your time and do it complete. All the degreaser is a heavy duty degreasing detergent. It's industrial strength. You can get cleaner degreaser stuff, heavy duty stuff at your local Lowe's and Home Depot and all those home places. But since it came in the kit, I will use theirs. We'll rinse it off some more. If you haven't guessed, I'm using some turkey tins. I just happen to have them lying around and they work pretty good. They're not quite long enough, but they'll do. It's a good idea to wear gloves when you're doing this. This stuff's pretty harsh on the skin, and you don't want to be absorbing all this crap anyway. It's not good for you. Alright, so I've gone through the degreaser 3 times now. I'm pretty satisfied that this gun is pretty well degreased and clean. I'm going to leave it sit there, and I'm going to dry it off with some paper towels. And then we will give it a little rub with some alcohol. And that should really get it nice and degreased and clean. Yeah, that's feeling pretty clean. So even the oils from your skin can disrupt this thing and leave imprints on the gun for the bluing. So you do want to do a good job on it. Like I said before, prep work in a project like this is key. But you're going to be amazed on how quickly and how nice this is going to come out, because this barrel's in really good shape. It's just missing its color. Alright, so I got it pretty well cleaned off there, pretty well dried off. Let me go get some alcohol. Hey, I went and got some 91% isopropyl alcohol. If this doesn't remove the rest of the oil off the gun, I don't know what will. We're gonna give the barrel a good rub down with that and give it some time to dry off. This is the same stuff that you use if you put plastic up on your windows to hold the double sticky scotch tape to your windows. This is the same stuff. Same stuff the medical profession uses to clean out your cuts and everything else. This will remove any and all oil and dirt and grime from the gun. This is probably not a necessary step, but it's a step I felt I really needed to take just to be doubly sure. Got lots of nooks and crannies over here I'm not very thrilled about having. Alright, I'll let that dry for just a couple seconds. And now we're going to get the glue and rust remover. Now, from what I understand, this stuff is pretty potent. This is the Birchwood KC Blue and Rust Remover. And it has a pretty good chemical reaction with metal. So I'm going to use these little applicators they give with you. And I'm going to put it on there, and it's an acid, so it'll work right into the metal fairly quickly. And oh yeah, it is going to town here. And I'm not following my own instructions here. I am not wearing gloves. Here we go. So with any acid or acetone or anything else that you use to do projects like this, yeah, it's stuff's working pretty well. Time is not on your side. So you gotta kind of work quickly. This stuff is chemically reacting with the metal. If I was just to leave this on here and not take it back off, my gun would rust up something terribly. I've got some Scotch-Brite, and I'm going to rub that on the barrel. same prepped. So you see what I'm doing. I don't know how much of this I'll keep on camera. The stuff is definitely working. Some water on here, stop the reaction. When you're pretty satisfied that you got all the bluing and all the coating off that you want to get off, then use water. To neutralize the acid. They give you some fine steel wool to work with. I'm going to choose the Scotch-Brite to start with, and then I'll finish it up with steel wool to give it a nice finish. This is very fine grade Scotch-Brite, so I'm not going to remove any metal with it. I'm just going to remove the finish with it. I'm not too terribly concerned with the underneath part of the bolt. If it doesn't get all blued up as happily as the rest of it, then so be it. It's not going to show anyway, but I'll get it as good as I can. And as you see, I got a nice shiny barrel right now. It's looking pretty good, actually. Gotta pay attention to the front sight. I may have to take some sandpaper on that. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to give it another degreasing and alcohol treatment. So I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to finish my prep work, and I'll show you where I'm at once I get this part of the project finished. So hang tight, I'll be right back. So anyway, all I did was I did the first treatment and I stopped and seen where I'm at, and now I'm going to put on a second coat. We're going to go from there and darken it up some more. I am so sorry about that. I really wanted to get this all on camera for y'all, but the project is coming out swimmingly. Everything's looking pretty good. I could not be happier with the results right now. The bluing is definitely taking effect. My prep work was fine. And we were having some good success with this barrel. It looks pretty. We're getting our desired color here, which really makes me happy. She is really blackening up. Looking so nice. I can't wait to get it all back together now. So all I did is, this is exactly what I did. Once I had it, I took it inside and I worked it over with some Scotch-Brite and some fine 400 grit sandpaper and some steel wool. And we got all the bluing that I could get off of it. And made the metal nice and shiny, got rid of any pits, sanded them out. And just paid attention to detail on it. So then I came out here and I did just this. I did one coat on each end. Trying to keep everything as even as possible. And it is coming out very, very nice. Very, very happy. So you don't have to worry about touching it. See, it's not even marking my hands. It will only blue the metal itself. So you really don't have to worry about it. And I'm not too terribly concerned about what I don't see. So you can touch it. You're not going to fingerprint it unless your fingers are oily. If you're wearing gloves or whatever, it's not a problem either. But this is coming out fantastic. As my shirt says, as Hickok 45 is prone to say, life is good, huh? I mean, you all saw what the barrel looked like before. And now I don't know if the camera is doing this any justice, or even if the camera is actually seeing this. We'll find out once I review the video. But it's coming out spectacular. I'm just going to let it keep doing its thing here for a while. Keep going over it. Now this process here has taken me all of 5 minutes. You know, once I started the blue, it just kept on going. Like I said before, it's all in the prep work. I'm not seeing any indication of bad colors or anything else. So let's see, I'm going to give it another bath. Halt this process. Take a look at the color. And see what I think. We'll dry it off and we'll go again. So now with that much done, let's put on another coat. Okay, so there you have it, folks. I applied 5 coats and it just wasn't going to get any darker than it is, but I think it just came out beautiful. So now I'm just going to clean it and oil it up and reassemble, and then we'll compare it to my Model 60, which is still in its original prime. And we'll see how it came out. All right. To me, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I just can't be happier with the colors and everything I'm seeing here. So I'm going to go through the cleaning process, and I'll be back with you. Okay, folks, well, there you have it. She's all reassembled. She looks really good. I'm really, really happy with the outcome of the finish. It's definitely a gunmetal blue. It's not It's not perfect, but I'll tell you what, it looks used, but it looks used very well. I mean, everything is even. There's no super big blemishes or anything. It looks like a nice blue barrel. It's definitely not as black as the scope, but if you look at where there's still bluing on the bolt, the original blue, and the handle, it matches that quite well. So let's get my Model 60 out, which is still in its original finish and is in very, very good shape, and the bluing is good, and we'll compare it to that and we'll see how it looks. Well, there you have it. It's pretty darn close. The bluing is more consistent in the Model 60. Yeah, it looks a little cloudier on the Marlin Model 20, but I'll tell you what, I couldn't be happier with how well that turned out. That's a nice looking bluing job. Birchwood Casey, thumbs up. That's all I got. I'm the Beretta guy. Love you guys. I'm out.